welcome back to my European kitchen. I'm Dawn Tolson, I live in North Carolina, and today I'm very pleased to be cooking for you a dish which is very special to my family. It came about a few years ago when my children were small and we were coming back from the Caribbean. We had to stop off in Miami, and our little hotel that we booked turned into a spring break nightmare. We didn't know it was spring break, and my children got an education which I'm sure they weren't supposed to have at that age. But anyway, we went and took solace in a nice little restaurant, and my son ordered the salmon pasta. We were really impressed because not only did he order from the menu, he actually managed to read it. He absolutely adored it, so I vowed to actually make the pasta for him when I got home. But I added a little bit of an interest and a twist to it, and I used smoked salmon instead of normal salmon. And now he professes I'm the best cook in the world, which what more could a mum want? So to cook this pasta, I'm going to need some ingredients, of course. I have a pound of dried pasta here. I got the bow tie, the farfalle. I really like that. The presentation of it looks wonderful on the dish. I have a cup of heavy cream. I have 6 ounces of smoked salmon. You probably gathered by now I actually love smoked salmon. I have a cup of freshly grated Parmesan cheese. I love to use the fresh Parmesan. Having worked in Italy for a while, I'm an addict to that. I have a little bit of a naughty ingredient here. It's a big surprise to most people, but you cannot taste it. I have a third of a cup of whiskey. I don't know whether you can see that. Don't worry though, because the whiskey is the alcohol is actually going to be burnt off before we add it to the cream. And then of course I have my Philadelphia cream cheese, which I'm going to add 3 ounces to the sauce, and that's going to make it all velvety and lovely. Okay, so let's start cooking. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring a pan of water up to boil. I've salted it, and I want that to get nice and bubbling before I add my pasta. What I'm actually going to do is get prepared while the water is coming up to a boil. I'm going to pour my whiskey into a small saucepan, and I'm also going to pour my cream into another saucepan. And when the pasta is cooking, I'm going to boil up the whiskey to get rid of the alcohol and just leave that nice concentrated flavour. And I'm going to gently warm the cream, add the cream cheese, and then we're going to amalgamate it all together with the smoked salmon. So while my pasta is boiling, what I want to do is start on my sauce that's going to go onto the pasta. I'm going to bring my whiskey gently up to the boil and simmer off all the alcohol content, so I'm just left with that lovely concentrated flavour. And I'm going to leave the cream for the moment because I don't want that to boil. I just want that to come up to a gentle heat when we're ready to add the cream, cheese and the salmon to it. So what I want to do while everything is cooking on the stove, I want to cut up my smoked salmon. Nobody wants a big piece of smoked salmon like that. It won't go very far. So I like to just cut my salmon into slithers. And that way everybody gets a nice piece of salmon in the pasta. Okay, let's just get that cut up. It doesn't have to be even. I like to roll it and do it as well, it's easier. Just as long as the salmon is actually cut up. There we go. So I just want you to have a look at this whiskey. It's actually bubbling away. You can see that it's simmering, and what that's doing, as I said before, is it's burning off all the alcohol content. And it will reduce to about half. So that's ready now. So I'm just going to place that on the side. I'm going to pop my cream on while the whiskey is cooling, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my 3 ounces of Philadelphia cheese to the cream, and I'm going to heat that very, very slowly together. What I want is for the Philadelphia to melt into the cream so it makes it extra cheesy and extra lovely. So, as you can see, the Philadelphia is just melting slowly into the cream. It looks absolutely yummy. I can't wait to eat this. It's just a marriage made in heaven. Cream, Philadelphia and smoked salmon. Oh my God, who else could want for more? Now you can see the Philadelphia is actually totally amalgamated within the cream. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the whiskey to the cream. Ooh, lovely. Let's just get rid of this pan. Big clank there. Okay, so the cream and the whiskey are amalgamated together, and the Philadelphia is totally dissolved within the cream. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the smoked salmon. What this is going to what's going to happen is the smoked salmon is going to slightly cook through. It's going to turn from this beautiful, beautiful bright orange color to the most delicate pink color, and I've kept a little bit back because I like to sprinkle that on top as extra taste. So I have my pasta. I'm just going to drain that off. It's been about 12-13 minutes. Just going to get it all out. I'm going to drain it off. I'm not actually going to wash this. Some people like to wash the pasta out with boiling water just to get rid of a lot of the starch, but I want some of the starch in that to make the nice creamy sauce. So pasta back in the pan, back over to the stove, and pop the stove on very low and add the cream cheese and the cream and the smoked salmon to the pasta. Just give it a gentle stir. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the cup of Parmesan to the sauce and let the Parmesan melt. And something that I didn't tell you earlier, my secret ingredient, the cayenne pepper, just a couple of pinches. Be careful because cayenne pepper can be very hot. So I'm going to add the cayenne pepper to it. You can see already it's turning into this creamy, gorgeous dish. You can see how pink the salmon has gone. Oh my word. My son is filming this as we speak, and he keeps getting really close to the pasta because I think he thinks if he gets closer to it, he's going to eat it. I'm just going to give a little bit of pepper, a little bit of extra salt, not too much because the smoked salmon is salty as it is, and I'm ready to plate. Okay, so let's plate this up. I have my nice fishy dishy. My kids love this dish, and we just pop the pasta onto the dish. You can see how creamy and wonderful that sauce is. The Philadelphia adds such a dimension to this. I like to get every last drop. There we go. Pop that into the sink. And then I'm going to add just a tad more of the Parmesan cheese. Now in Italy, some say that you don't have Parmesan cheese with fish, but I'm breaking the rule because this is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Okie dokie, and there we go. We have smoked salmon pasta, and I promise you that the kids are going to love this and the adults will devour it.